So hello again, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We have some great content prepared for today. We have some awesome guest speakers. Before we start the presentation, I just want to, send a shout out to all you guys out there. I know these are really uneasy times for everybody. You're probably having, facing a lot of challenges in your personal life, in your business life. We're all in this together. We're here for you. We want to show your support, and our way to showing support is exactly what we're doing here today, is sharing the knowledge, trying to provide inspiration, trying to give you tools that'll help you stay open, keep your business up and running during these challenging times. Our thoughts and prayers are with any of your friends and family or anyone in the world that might be sick right now or dealing with sickness. We hope everyone feels better soon. We hope we stay healthy and go back to our sort of normal routine as soon as possible. I think what's really cool about this webinar, and I've been super excited about today's session, is that it's not just some expert or some company coming to sort of tell you about what their product can do, or give you their advice from their perspective, or their 2 cents on what's going on. We actually have real business owners with us today. Today's session is all about peer-to-peer learning. It's all about learning and getting inspired by people who are exactly like you, people who run their own business, entrepreneurs who have been running their own show for years. These people have made major changes to their business so they can stay relevant, stay up and running, during these difficult times. And they are here today to share their insights, share their inspiration. I'm going to introduce you to them in 1 second. What I'm going to do right now is start presenting. So I'm going to show you my screen. You'll be seeing a presentation. Let's talk about what we are doing here today. We're here to discuss keeping your small business up and running during the coronavirus outbreak. We are going to get some tips from real business owners who have had to make serious changes to their business so they can stay relevant, stay up and running during these unusual circumstances. We're going to also talk a little bit about how vcita helped them implement these changes, which features of vcita they were able to use it to make those changes happen in their business. We're also, of course, as I mentioned, going to get a chance to ask some great questions and get some great answers. And make sure you stay tuned until the very end, because we have a bit of a surprise for you. We have some awesome bonus offers from our speakers. Each one of our speakers, as I mentioned, runs their own small business. They have their own services that they sell. And I asked them to make a special offer to the webinar audience today. So stay tuned and make sure you don't miss out on that, because it is pretty cool, I must say. So welcome again. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Rachel Shapiro. I am the product marketing manager at vcita, the app that helps small businesses manage their clients, payments, appointments from one single app. During these times, we're also helping businesses run their business and shift their business into an online environment. And now let's talk about our guest speakers. So we have Sharon Boone from Amber Moon Studio. She does Pilates, she does massage therapy, she does a whole bunch of cool stuff. She'll tell you more about exactly what she does in a short while. She's from Austin, Texas. And something that is really exciting about Sharon, and you will probably see this throughout the session, is that she has the most fluffy, delicious cats roaming around her house. So I really hope at least one of those cats is going to photobomb us during the session. When I chat with her, when we did the video rehearsals, these cats, they jump into the screen and you just your mind goes blank. You just can't think about anything or say anything because you are staring at her cats. So hopefully more of that later. Dr. Michelle Dillon from Charlotte Natural Wellness. So this is, Michelle is all about sort of natural, holistic medicine. She has a lot of really interesting services. I spent a long time on her website reading about what she does. She also provides a lot of really interesting content. So I think part of her offering also includes, letting people kind of not only come to her for treatment, but also get the knowledge they need. So she's in a way, I guess, an educator. She'll tell you more about that later. And last but not least, Socially Nina from Learned It. Socially Nina is Nina, the woman and the curls. She is an expert on all things digital media. She is a marketing consultant. She helps businesses do the online thing and do it well. She knows everything you can possibly know about video. She's an expert on video marketing, and she is here today to tell her story as well. So without further ado, I am going to give the microphone, the virtual microphone, to Sharon to tell us more about who she is and what she does. Hello, Sharon. Can you hear us?
Hello, everybody. Yes. Hi, how is everybody today? It is rainy here in Austin, Texas, so just be in, if you hear any thunder, that's what that is. It's not the cats causing some major trauma in the house.
I'm going to see if I can activate your video in a minute. We can hear you great. We can't see you at the moment. Hopefully we'll see you and those cats in a minute.
There we go.
Hello.
There we go. All right, so a little bit about Amber Moon Studio. So I have been in business for 29 years to varying degrees as a studio. About 2015, I was actually able to convert full-time into running the studio. So I've seen lots of growth in the past few years and able to incorporate a little bit of everything I've done over the past 29 years in fitness. My main emphasis, what I do with my clients when I was a in-person studio, was mostly Pilates and massage with other things thrown in. And a lot of my clients come for more than just one thing. So I may have clients coming for Pilates once a week, and then they also get a massage once a month. I'm also a triathlon coach, so I may have clients that coach with me, but then they also come for Pilates once a week, or they come for their massage once a month. So there's a lot of crossover with my clientele. They come for a lot of things. So I'm really able to integrate whatever they're trying to achieve for performance, for wellness, for just fitness. Back in 2019, it was actually a very pivotal year for me, and the studio really took off. So I was really excited for what 2020 held. And we were doing great, and then COVID hit. And I will tell you, I'm still excited about what this is to offer, what this has to offer, because I've been able to actually shift to something I've wanted to try for a while. So it's been really exciting. In January, I added extra hours. So I was working about 36 hours a week. When you're hands-on, that's a lot. That's cut way back recently, obviously with COVID, but I'm getting to my clients to start to convert. So a lot of them have been doing classes with me, or they're starting to get back into more privates. They're realizing I'm going to be closed a little bit longer. They're coming back and saying, okay, I want more of this. The classes are great, but I miss our one-on-one time. So they're starting to come back for those sessions. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm actually keeping those a little bit shorter because of the format. It really depends on what equipment they have, so as to what we can do. And a big thing that I have been able to, that's been pivotal in turning my whole studio into virtual has been vcita. So if you want to go to the next slide. There we go. One of the things is the emails. You can send out, there you go, emails, staying in touch. Part of the issue for me is that I am used to being physically active, so sitting down and learning how to do this. The nice thing about vcita, once it's set up, it's there to go. I can just plug things in and boom, I'm off and running. So a little bit of setup time was required, but now it's easy, and it just makes it easy. And I really appreciate how responsive vcita is to our needs. I ask them a question, I get an answer. So that's been really nice. I had to take what I was doing online and turn it online where I could. So I had some things that I don't necessarily promote as much. Those get promoted more. I am a yoga instructor. I used to teach one class a week over at the Y. I've converted that to online. So again, I pulled from my clients over there. My studio clients, my athletes, now they're being pulled in. Okay, how can we do this? Here's the training plan. You go and do that. So again, taking those areas I can focus on and really convert them. And then for the areas that are a little bit more challenging, starting to think outside that box. And so my bonus offer for you, when we get to it, is one of those that I got when I sat in on one of these vcita webinars. So I'm really excited for that. It's just starting to get rolling now. It's not quite rolling where it needs to be or where it will be, but it's getting there. So just realize you can get inspiration from anything. And it's really, really exciting to see how you grow, how you change, and how it takes off. The self-massage techniques were those ones that came, and how do we do this? How do we get creative? So those are my athletes. Those are my clients. I'm still serving probably 75% of my clientele through these different offerings.
Awesome. That's a big deal.
That is a big deal. And if you look at my financials, based on 2019, I'm at 90% of my income. And I think that is huge. Yeah. So that's, I've done something right, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it changes. So I'm really excited to see what comes of this. So Sharon, to me, your story is super inspiring, because with your type of business, that would be one of the, if I'm thinking of businesses that have taken a really big hit under these circumstances, it would be someone like you. It would be someone that actually, delivers most, if not all, of their services in person. I mean, you actually have to have people come to your house, and you have to, examine what they're doing. You sometimes have to touch them. I mean, to take a business like that and shift it into an online mode, I kind of feel that if you did it, almost any business can do it. Yes. And I am not a technology person. So if I can do it, you can do it.
That's
and I
awesome.
converted it in about 3 days. So I was on vacation, and then I had a week of COVID work. And I was like, okay, I got to get this converted. I got to get back to work on vacation. And how am I going to do this? So
that's awesome, because that was exactly my next question. I was going to ask if it was, a technological challenge for you. So you're saying that you're not on a normal day, you wouldn't consider yourself like a tech whiz, and you're still able to sort of close that gap and use technology to keep your business up and running.
Yeah. So the classes started out on the phone, casting from the phone in my living room. And then after the webinar with Owen
Video.
These are the equipment that I need. So I got the equipment in. It's like, okay, now I need a computer. So I borrowed a laptop that I'm using on right now. So it's a process, and I'm learning, and it's been a big change for me, but I am enjoying it. I'm still excited about 2020. I'm excited about my studio and what I can do. So
that's great. Thank you so much, Sharon. I mean, your story is inspiring to itself. And then also just to see you, how positive you are, how willing you are to, kind of take ownership, not just not just put yourself on standby, but be willing to take initiative, get out there, learn what there is to learn, and make active changes to your business. And that really has a huge influence, on being able to stay open, continue staying in touch with your customers, having people come to you for services online. That's remarkable. So thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be hearing more of you later.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, and hopefully we'll get to see some of those fluffy cats a little bit later. Maybe one of them will wake up from their nap.
Or I'll go get them, one of the two. Yes.
That could work too. If you have a question for Sharon, please feel free to post it in the Q&A panel, and we will get to it after we hear all our speakers for today. So think about what you just heard. Some of you may have a similar business as Sharon. If any of you are listening right now and, you listen to Sharon's story and you say, that actually sounds like my business, or you do Pilates, you do massage therapy, give us a shout out. We'd love to hear, who you guys are, what you do. So put your information in the chat, and hopefully we'll have some time to have a chat a bit later. So again, thank you so much, Sharon. We're ready to move on to our next speaker. By the way, I really do hope we get to see her cats. I know I've been talking about them a lot, but I'm just sort of obsessed. They are the fluffiest and most delicious animals I have seen in a very long time. So it's time to say hello to our next guest speaker, Dr. Michelle Dillon. Can you hear us, Michelle?
Yes, hello everyone. I hope everybody's doing well today.
Hello, can we see, we can't see your video. Hopefully you'll be seeing a small box that asks you if you're happy to activate your video in a second.
Yay,
Here we
live.
are, yay.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Yes. So I'm
Thank
Dr.
you.
Michelle, sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say thank you so much for joining us. So yes, go ahead, tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure. Thank you for having me, Rachel. I appreciate it. I hope everybody's doing well today. I'm Dr. Michelle Dillon. I'm owner and founder of Charlotte Natural Wellness here in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you see a picture, this is a picture of me and my family. I'd like to say that I've been helping tired moms since 2007. As a mom myself, and a small business owner, it's so important to take care of yourself and really support yourself, because as you know, if you're not doing so, then your business does suffer, and so does your family. I feel like as a mom, if you're not feeling well, I'm sure a lot of you can relate. If you're not feeling well, then you're not as patient with your kids and you're just not as fun and bubbly as you can be. And so it plays a huge role. And so that's my passion, is working with other women to help them feel the best so that they can parent the best. So women struggling with hormonal issues or digestive issues, fatigue, you name it, I can help with. And I'm a naturopathic doctor, so I have more natural tools in my tool shed. So I'm trained like a regular medical doctor, but when it comes to treating, it's really just finding the cause and the imbalance of what's causing the issue, and then supporting the body so it can naturally heal itself. So I love what I do, and I love digging, kind of like a Sherlock Holmes, trying to find the cause of the health issues, and then giving the body what it needs. It's amazing what can happen when you give the body what it needs. It can really heal itself.
I love that, Sherlock Holmes. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then when COVID attacked us, it was kind of shocking. And I went from I usually see 80% of my patients face to face, which I love to see them and I love to, be with them. And then converting was kind of tragic. It was shocking, right? I'm sure everybody is shocked, but we were able to adapt. I think as a small business owner, it's so important to adapt and get there. And vcita did help with that. So we did online scheduling. We've been using vcita for years, and we love the capability of having it online and how quickly it goes on our website, and then people can reschedule as you need to. I love the fact that it has invoicing, so you can send people an invoice and take care of payment. And go from there, as well as, the documentation. So sending patients their labs, and then they were able to send me their diet diaries, as well as I can send them handouts. And then it keeps it all in this great portal, which helps me keep everything organized all together. And then the appointment reminders was a godsend, because my husband oversees and manages the office, so it took a lot of work off of him so that he can get to other things. And then the fact that it has an app where I can check different messages from my phone to get me out of the house when I'm outside with the kids was wonderful indeed. Let's see what else.
Tell us a little bit about your, I know you've been doing like a lot of virtual health and webinars and just like creating this online educational content. So tell us a little bit more about, what that looks like from your end.
Yeah. So with everybody home and in front of their computer or their phone or their iPad or whatever, I was able to put together some online webinars to help educate on how to improve your immune system, keep it strong during this time. That is available for free on my website. If you guys want to check that out. And then I use Zoom to see patients face to face, and then using vcita to send that out as well was really helpful. Just switching your mind from seeing people face to face to just converting it online is pretty straightforward. And creating boot camps and different programs just to help people support people during this time. And then, let's see what else.
I think that's actually a really good point, because, now usually we're used to thinking, that, people are super busy when they come and, when they're getting in touch with their business, they just want it to be like straight to the point. They know what they want to buy. They know what, they know what type of information they need. And I guess now with lockdown, so many people are just sort of stuck at home, stranded from their sort of daily day-to-day routine. And I think suddenly people are much more available to consume information online, if that makes sense. People have more time to, join these webinars, these boot camps that you're talking about. Did you find that? I mean, with your audience, have you found that suddenly people have more time and more availability to kind of tune in and get, more educated on, your area of expertise?
I mean, definitely, I think the anxiety and the stress of everybody's has reached a new high, and so having the support of a doctor is, I think, helpful for them to jump on a call or jump on a voice like a Zoom call like this and be able to see people face to face. I think is also another benefit, because we're all so isolated. It's like, oh, I'm so starved of people attention. Let me, instead of talking to the wall, or talking to your plants, right? You're able to interact, and in doing that helps with a sense of community, which I think is really important.
Yeah, in general, I feel like Zoom has become like a surprisingly a very significant part in everybody's lives. Zoom and these online platforms, suddenly have become basically the only way for a lot of small businesses to deliver their services. And I'm just curious about, like, how did people respond to this? Like, when you have people that are used to coming into your clinic, having this very in-person type of experience, and then for them to make that shift, and see you online, from their own home, you're in your own home. How do people really usually respond to this?
I think it was a little bit of a transition for everybody. Some people, I think the younger generation hooked right in, and they were completely comfortable with it. Some of the older population, or people that weren't as techy, if you will, they were a little more hesitant. So what I did was offer, the first 10 minutes, just give it 10 minutes, we can meet. And if you don't feel that it's being what you need at this moment, then we can schedule until an in-person is available. And I would say 80% of the people gave it a go, and they liked it. It was a good enough interaction for them. And, getting their health needs met is also a priority, I think. So it's helpful. But I think if you just offer, let's give it a try and see how it goes, I think people are more willing to jump on it, for sure. But I did have a couple health, like, when you do choose to go on your online programs, these are a few things that I really found helpful, because it can get a little frustrating at first. It's really about your mindset. So if you get your mindset right, because initially you may put something out there and you may not have a lot of feedback or a lot of people that sign up for it, just keep on trying. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, because if you're not taking care of yourself, then it's harder for you to give to others. And I kind of correlated it with fishing. If y'all like fishing, I love fishing. I used to fish. One of my most favorite memories, was fishing with my dad. I grew up in South Florida. We go in the Everglades, and fishing is all about getting into the right area and using the right bait. So online program, when you decide to launch your stuff, it's like fishing. So if one area, one bait doesn't work, you just got to keep trying and don't lose hope, because it will work. And when it works, it's phenomenal. So I just want to encourage you guys.
That's actually a really good metaphor. I mean, with fishing, because it kind of literally is fishing. You're trying. You have this. You have this online audience. These virtual people that you don't necessarily know, and they are somehow aware of your business. But just that awareness alone isn't really enough to convert them. It's not enough to bring them in and form some sort of relationship with them, and to really get that foot in the door. I think a lot of these freebie contents, I mean, it's fine to do paid content and paid programs as well. There's some businesses that base their entire business model on selling online products and online courses. And then there's this whole other world of, this freebie content, which I think a lot of businesses have started to experiment with recently, where you give just a snippet of something. It doesn't even have to be like a full hour webinar. It could just be like 10 minutes on Facebook Live, or, you know, a YouTube video or something that is informative, something where you as a business owner, as an expert in your domain are giving, you know, you're giving away information for free, you know, tips that to you may seem super obvious, but to other people could be really significant. In fact, they could be, you know, life-changing. And being able to give this away for free, just in, you know, in exchange for an email address or a name or a phone number, really gives you the opportunity to sort of have that foot in the door. You know, people will remember you as the person that gave them that good advice. You know, they'll kind of consider you an authority in your area of business. And then when they are ready to make a purchase, you know, when they are in need of a service you offer, they'll come to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're sort of planting the seed with this online content, with this free webinar, with this Facebook Live session. And then, you know, you sort of nurture that relationship, you continue, you know, I don't know if it's sending emails, we'll talk a little bit about, you know, nurturing your leads with emails a little bit later. But you just sort of continue, you know, keep these people close, keep this pool of people close. And then, you know, when they need someone, when they need someone, they come to you. Yeah. So those are some really great insights. Thank you so much. Michelle will be connecting with you a little bit later to hear more about your bonus offer for the folks. I'm going to continue with the presentation, but just before I do, I'd like to launch a poll question and just ask you guys, you know, how you've been doing these days. I know, you know, different states and different countries are facing, you know, different restrictions nowadays. I know some people are actually able to go to work or able to set up, you know, open up their shop or open up their office or their clinic. I know others, you know, don't have that privilege at the moment. You may be still at home. You may be, you know, forced to do things a little bit differently. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the first poll now. You should be seeing it on your screen. My question for you now is, how is your business doing these days? Is it business as usual? Are you still figuring out how to move your business online? Maybe, you know, your business has already completely moved online. Maybe in your type of business, you don't really think you can do things online. That's fair enough as well. We can, you know, if you want to share a few words about that in the chat area or the Q&A area, feel free to drop us a note, because we'd love to hear, you know, what type of business that is you think can't really do anything online, and maybe we can brainstorm together, come up with some creative solutions. You know, we have a couple of businesses that have actually made that leap of faith and led those changes in their business here with us today. So maybe some of them will have some insights for you. So we'll just give you a couple more seconds to close the polls. I see, it looks to me like most of you are still trying to figure out how you can move your business online. And I think that makes a lot of sense, because, you know, when you set up a business and you build your business model and you kind of form a relationship with the type of people you want to work with, a lot of it is very much based on who you are as a person. You know, people go to small businesses very often because, you know, they want to work with a person. They don't want to be, you know, another one of millions of customers that work with the corporation. They want to go to someone that will remember their name, you know, will know who they are, maybe remember, you know, what they do, or, you know, who their family members are. And for small businesses to maintain those personal connections with the people you work with, those personal relationships, is a really big deal. And I think we sort of assume that when making that online transition and shifting from an in-person interaction basis to an online environment, I think a lot of businesses, and what I've been hearing from our community is that a lot of businesses are really nervous about losing that personal touch, about not really being able to connect with the person that comes to your business just because it's done in an online environment. And what I have come to learn over the last couple of weeks is that when you use the right tools and you sort of start in the right mindset, you can still really maintain a personal connection, a personal relationship with the people you work with. And just a little bit later, I am going to show you how you know, we can support that within vcita and give you some ideas of what you can do in vcita to continue nurturing those relationships and keep those conversations going. So thanks everyone for answering the poll. We are ready to move on to our third speaker for today, Nina. Socially Nina. So she has a lot of great tips for you. Socially Nina is actually, I mean, this is really what she does for a living. She's been doing digital stuff, before we were all forced to go digital. But she also, and she'll tell you more about this in a second, she also had to make some changes because even though, she does everything digital, she still had her very few strategic in-person interactions, and even those had to move and shift into an online environment. So hello, Nina. Tell us a little bit more about.
How are you? I have to say your introduction made me smile. I was like, that was so sweet of you. So thank you for sending all that positivity my way. I love the introduction. Thank you.
Great. We're super excited to have you here. Your introduction slide is going to go live in just 1 second. So start telling us a little bit about more who you are, what you do, how you started doing what you're doing.
No problem. So my name is Socially Nina. You'll find me online everywhere, Socially Nina. I'm a techie, so I've always been either a trainer or an IT project manager. So I've always dealt with leadership training, technical training, onboarding, all of that. And so about 6 or 7 years ago, I started doing websites and logos and social media for people. And about 4 years ago, I quit my job. I'm still, in my mind, I'm still like, I can't believe I said that. I'm doing this full time. And every time I say it, I have to giggle. But yeah, I do this full time, and I really help not so techie entrepreneurs figure out two things: strategy and tech when it comes to digital marketing. And so basically I just teach people. Most of my clients are either Gen X or baby boomers. There's a couple of millennials that sneak in there, but in general, they're people who they have a genius or they know how to do things. It's just when it comes to the tech or being in front of the camera, it's like they stop. And so I just help them work through tech and using content, like you were saying before, to create relationships with people, even if it's free content, giving value, building relationships. So later when someone actually needs your services, even if it is online, that they'll come to you. And so, yeah, I love to help not so techie entrepreneurs. And so I know today we're talking a lot about vcita and how it helped me. I definitely want to emphasize that I do online training. I deal with a lot of DIYers. Most of my leads or my new clients and relationships come from YouTube. However, when I teach people YouTube, sometimes it's so much, and I wanted to be able to give them everything, not a fluff, kind of here, these are the steps, but I wanted to give them everything. So I started doing these live workshops. It's a weekend, and we would do it once a quarter. And I loved it because since my people don't like tech, they're like falling away from it, I wanted them here. And it was usually 12 people. I had my project manager come in, my husband, he was my assistant. So we get to look over their shoulders, show them what they're doing. And there was another one coming up, and I'm like, what do I do? Like, this is my thing. I always tell people, like, this is different because it's live, come to Atlanta. And so at first I took a pause and I said, let me just put out free content that people need right now. Because I had a lot of new people that were coming to me. So I was doing my mom asked me how to use Zoom. So I did a video on YouTube on how to use Zoom, how to set up Zoom. That's about the time that vcita integrated with Zoom. And I was like, oh my goodness, my two favorites. So I did a little video on that, but I had this new audience that was coming up. So I actually spoke to my clients first and said, what do you need? And I have a client that's a chef. I have a client that's a hairstylist. I have a client that does Reiki, the one that does yoga. So they do all hands-on things, right? And I have some people that are in the service business. So we did a session on how to use vcita. And while I'm telling them how to move their business online, I'm like, you can do virtual sessions for your hair. You can show, people how to cut their hair themselves. For the chef sessions, I have my chef is now doing, she's starting actually this month, online monthly, like cooking with me sessions. But I have this light bulb, like, duh, Nina, move your workshop online. And so while we usually have 12 students, I put it out there, and I actually had 30 that show up this time. And I was like, okay, how am I going to be able to provide that same level? And so what I did with vcita is I use that where people can actually, we extended the day and they can actually come in, we do the workshop, but throughout the week, we offered additional sessions from some of my clients and to offer some things that help just with life right now, right? And so our students were able to register with vcita. And so when we're usually live in person, we're sending them reminders like, come back from lunch, early, or make sure that, we're starting at this time. But it was actually easier because vcita did that. It was like, hey, 15 minutes before, don't forget, this is where we're going. And so it took some hassle out of the tech part, which is usually where we struggle, right? We have the strategy and the tech is what stops us. And so it actually just flowed, a lot easier. My VIP clients, which are able to come to my office and meet with me one-on-one, same thing. I was a little nervous because they're paying extra to, come face to face and spend a few hours with me. And they just, they shifted online. And since my audience is not techie, I was a little nervous, but I thought, well, we've been using vcita to remind them about their in-person, items and communicate there. So when I shifted, we didn't miss a beat. And so one of the things that I want to make sure that my goal here was to teach people that, you have a genius that you do in person. But if you could get the right tech, and I think we mentioned this before, in place where you don't have to worry about how do I do this online, you just set up your vcita and your Zoom, and all they do is register after they pay. All you have to do is show up and do exactly what you were doing in person. And so it takes that stress off of you, and you're able to shift at a time where some people are losing their jobs, some people are trying to find work. Now, if you just shift and try to offer people solutions, it just makes it a way that you can give back and share and not put extra stress on yourself. So, I appreciate having these tools in place, but also just the mindset that everyone has to be in right now to shift and use what's available for us, or to us rather.
Yeah. Those are some great insights. I think what you described really well is that I think for so many businesses, it's kind of a two-phase process. It's about making that shift in your mindset and being able to say, okay, I cannot do, I can't continue doing what I'm doing because, I can't see people in person. People can't come to my office. I have to do something differently. It's just being able to acknowledge that fact and sort of embrace it and say, okay, I am not going to curl into my shell and, wait for a miracle to happen. I'm going to go get out there, own the situation, do what I can to keep my business up and running, find creative solutions. I think everyone that's here with us today mentioned that it wasn't straightforward. They had to kind of use this really creative way of thinking to come up with a new type of services and a new offering that would be relevant to their people. And I think that's for many of you, that should definitely be the first step, just like pause for a second, reassess, try and think of what you can do differently. What do you have within your skill set or within your knowledge base that you can share, that you can later maybe sell as a product? That's sort of like the first step you have to make. You have to think about, what can I offer? And there's actually a great slide we had in the presentation before, and this is Sharon. I'm sorry, while you were talking, for some reason my computer refused to to move to different slides. But if it's okay with you, I'd like to just go back a couple of slides back and share a really great screenshot that you sent me when we were working on this presentation together. It's the screenshot of Sharon's service menu. So if you guys use vcita, you probably are familiar with the service menu. That's where it's one of the first things you'll set up when you set up your vcita account. It basically shows, what is it that my business can offer? What is it that my business can sell? And Sharon, I'm gonna unmute you for a second. Maybe we'll get a quick peek at one of your cats.
And, she's right here. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, wait. All right. Let's hope for that video to come up real quick. There you go. Oh no, I think she might be are they camera shy, these cats? I mean, they're not,
is definitely not. I may have to go grab her. She's right over there, so.
All right, let's hope for her to come back into the frame. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just reshare my screen here, and we're gonna take a look at this great screenshot that you sent me when we were working on the presentation together. So what we're looking at here, guys, is Sharon's service menu. So as I mentioned, if you guys use vcita, you know that one of the first things you do is you set up your services. So you'll set up, I have this service. This is what it costs. It usually takes an hour. It usually takes an hour and a half. You put in all that information, and then when someone comes onto your website and clicks on the schedule a meeting button, the first thing they see is they'll see your service menu. You know, they'll get an idea of what type of services you can offer. And the screenshot that Sharon sent me, which is now presented on my screen, is a customized service menu for during the coronavirus pandemic. So Sharon, do you want to sort of like walk us through what type of services you are offering now in an online environment? I'm sure these are all things that you previously offered, you know, face-to-face.
Right. So the first two are the classes, the 1-hour classes that I do. So that's pretty much the main stuff. I have that every day. The next two are a 30-minute and 60-minute session for the one-on-one physical training. And I've labeled it as Pilates, yoga, strength, prehab, because it really is going to depend on what equipment they have as to what approach they take. And it's easier just to kind of clump it all into one. And so again, it's described so they can say, okay, I'm not sure what I need. This is where I'm going to market. So it's very generalized for that reason. The self-massage class through Trigger Point that you see there, that was actually an hour format. There's no future listing still because I was realizing that an hour didn't really serve people. And then everything that I normally do in person is now hidden. So it's taken off. So just the stuff that I can do is visible on my screen.
So that's also a really, I think, a really important, you know, insight, just to kind of remain agile, you know, kind of keep in mind that you're learning as you go. And just like you said, Sharon, you know, you started setting up, you know, a particular service. As time went by, you saw that it wasn't really working, you know, in its constant format. And I guess as small businesses, you know, one of your big advantages is that you can remain nimble. So you can kind of change things on the fly, reshape your services. You know, I think, Nina, you also mentioned this before, you know, you can, or was it Michelle? Sorry. You all, I think you all sort of touched on this at some point, is that, you know, you can sometimes build something that you think is really great and you think will work really well and launch it and just sort of like sit there, you know, waiting for people to come through, and nobody really does. And then what you do, you know, it's not like you put all this work in for nothing. What you can do is you can go and change that and reshape it, repurpose the content you already have, you know, sort of just like not give up and continue trying to find ways to monetize your knowledge and your skill set, you know, during these crazy times where you can't just go about business as usual.
Yeah, and
so
it's really easy with vcita, which is one of the things that makes it so nice. Let's try this, see what happens. Bam, it's done.
That's so great to hear. Thank you for that feedback. Actually, I prepared a little bit of a demo for you guys today. I want to try and show you how vcita can support some of the use cases that we described, that our guest described during this time. This is all stuff that came from our community. So this is all stuff that I've heard small businesses tell me about, you know, how they use it and how they've been utilizing the digital tools that they have to kind of create this online content, create this online session, stay in touch with customers. So the first thing I want to show you is how you can use your vcita account to continue, you know, stay in touch with customers, continue nurturing these relationships. You have worked so hard to score every single one of these customers. You know, now, even if you can't sell anything, even if you can't meet them, you know, in person or online, you can still engage with them. You can still communicate with them. You can send them email campaigns. You can send them SMS campaigns. You can share offerings, share updates, let them know what you're up to. Maybe share an interesting offer that could be relevant during these times. So I'm going to show you how to do that within vcita.
So this is your vcita dashboard. We're going to head over to the marketing section and click on announcements. In announcements, we're going to click on new announcements. This is going to open our template library. So these are different like ready-made email templates you can use to get inspired, just some ideas, different types of messages for different types of businesses. The ones on top under feature, these are the COVID-19 related ideas. So this is, you know, if you wanted to send some sort of update about your hours or a new service you're doing online, or invite your customers to buy like a gift card, you know, pay something now and then go ahead and claim those services at a later time when things are back to normal. This is where you can edit the text, change things around. You can change the text. If you just click over here, you can click over here to change the call to action. So if you didn't want to use, the gift card, you could use, instead of pay me, you could say something like, visit my client portal, or log into your account, schedule a meeting, visit my social media, or any other custom URL link. So this is where you would set that up. You can also change, I'm just going to scroll down here, this is where you can change the image. So we put an image here, but we have a whole collection of different types of images. They're all royalty free, so you can use whatever you think works best for your business at no additional cost. Once you're done setting things up, you'll click on the Done button. That'll bring you back to this screen. This is where you can then click on the Send button. So this is where you're going to decide if you want to send it as an email or a text message. If it's an email, you can compose your own subject line over here. The next thing you'll do is decide who you want to send it to. So these are your tags. Each business sets this up for themselves. These are your groups of customers. You group them, and then it just makes it easier to control, which messages go out to who. This is a music teacher, so let's say, we'll send things to the guitar and piano players. Then, you can set it up now. You can send it later. So we're going to send our campaign now, and that's it. It's on its way. You can then come back to the screen to see how many people received the email, how many people clicked, how many people opened it, just to get an idea of what's engaging.
Another really important feature that our speakers addressed today was the group event feature. So this is something that'll help you conduct those group events, whether it's a webinar, whether it's some sort of live stream on Facebook, or even just a group session where you're getting in front of a webcam and delivering some sort of class or service to a group of people as opposed to just the one person. So you can schedule these within vcita and then also track how they're doing. So you can see how many people are registering to your events. You can use vcita to send automated reminders to make sure that people actually show up. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So here we are on our vcita dashboard. We're going to head over to our calendar and mark the area where we want to do the group event. So I'm going to click over here. I'm going to have this little drop-down menu, and I'm going to select the group event. Here, I'm either going to choose from a pre-saved type of event that I have in my service menu, or create a custom one on the fly. So again, I'm going to create a custom one. I'm going to give it a name. In this case, let's call it our piano group session, because we're in the music theme today. You can, of course, create a longer session. I just did one for half an hour. Let's just change it to 1 hour. That makes more sense. You can make it repeat. So if you wanted it to repeat on a weekly basis, if you wanted to set one of these up to recur every week or every month, completely up to you. You can customize that over here. We're going to do this we'll do this one just as a one-time event. The type, so this is important. This is where people are going to meet you. So is it happening, over the phone? Is it happening at your location, face-to-face, Skype? As I mentioned before, to do the Zoom thing, you'll have to use your Zoom integration. I'll drop a video tutorial link in the chat just in a couple of minutes. It's super simple, super easy. So if you have any challenges at all, please feel free to reach out to the team. They can help you get that sorted. This is also a feature that should be available to all users on all different plans. In terms of details, so you can cap it, let's say up to 30 people. You can decide if you want it to be free of charge, or if you wanted it to be, if you wanted to set a price, if you wanted to collect if you wanted to collect payment while people were registering, or collect that payment later, completely up to you. Prep time, as I mentioned before, super important, especially for the first couple of times you're doing this. You should leave yourself at least 20 minutes, half an hour to sort of just get organized. This will actually block your calendar, so no one can schedule a meeting half an hour or 20 minutes before you start, just to make sure you have that buffer, you have enough time to get set up. And then again, the notifications, which are extremely important. We really, especially when you do something like a webinar or Facebook Live, you want people to show up, you want people to attend the live event. So you can send out these reminders. They can go out via text message or email. You can send out two, which is good. That's what I usually do. So I usually send one like about an hour before, just a heads up, we start in about an hour, and then a second one like just a couple of minutes before, to make sure people don't miss out. And then once you have all your information, the event will be created in vcita. So this is where you'll see the Zoom link. This is where you'll see the registrants, how many people registered. We can support up to 500 registrants for the event, for each event. And then this over here is the link, which again, I said this before, but you didn't see what I was talking about. The link, which is super important because this is how you get people to attend your event. This is the link that you place either within an email campaign or on your social media channels or really anywhere. It's completely up to you. You know, use your own marketing channels to kind of push that link everywhere. Make sure people are aware of these online sessions that you've put so much effort into doing. So to help me out with the questions here, we have Jamie Osborne from vcita's support team. Jamie is the expert. He knows the ins and outs of vcita. Any kind of technical question you may have about how things work or how to set something up or how to go about, using vcita in a particular way, Jamie's your man. So I am going to unmute Jamie, and you should be able to see him in a second too. If you have a question for Jamie, please post it in the Q&A section. If you put it in the chat, please make sure to put it in the Q&A section because it's just so much easier for us to monitor and see from there. And as promised, I'm gonna post the Zoom, how to integrate vcita with Zoom link in the chat shortly. Jamie, can you hear us?
Hello, I can.
We can see you. Hello.
Excellent. Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We have some
Absolutely.
questions. I know we are running a little bit late. I'm sorry, guys. I know some of you probably have to sign off. We have the recording available. We will send it to you, but we're just going to take a couple of extra minutes to answer your questions. So Jamie, let's start with some of the questions we have for vcita.
All right. Well, I have one person in Oregon actually asked, can we use this with multiple staff members? And absolutely you can. So each staff member will have their own availability. They can set their own services. It can be shared services across staff members. Depending on the subscription level, you can have roles and permissions. And you don't have to think of a staff member as an employee either. It can be a resource. It can be a service truck. It can be a room in your building, a training room, things like that as well. We even have a little tiny Italian restaurant that uses each license for a table that somebody books for the whole evening, for example. So a lot of ways to expand it there. Kind of look through here. So somebody else asked about how to take payments in vcita. So we partner closely with Stripe, PayPal, Square, depending on your country, of course, of which ones are available to you. And Rachel kind of touched on the links that you use there. If you're not using the vcita widget or the bubbles that pop out on the screen, and you want to use actual schedule buttons or actual payment buttons on your website, depending on how you build it out, then you can use those links as the URL in the button as well. So it can be pay now. A lot of clients right now are using donate buttons, for example, or buying gift cards ahead of time before their services open back up, depending on the service as well.
I see some people have to leave. So just before you guys sign off, I'd like to continue, actually live up to what we promised at the beginning of the session, which are the bonus offers. So our speakers created these really great bonus offers for you guys. They're here, they told you before a little bit about who they are and what they do, and hopefully provided some inspiration. And here they wanted to offer, just like another perk for people that joined us for this webinar today. So let's start with Sharon. You briefly mentioned earlier that you do these great self-massage sessions, which I think are super cool because, massage is obviously something that is more relevant than ever when people are feeling super stressed, and can't exactly just head out of the house to get a massage. So Sharon, tell us a little bit more about what it is that you offer. We're going to also see your offer on the screen just in a second. And if you can't see it, guys, please ping me. I'm watching the chat now. Please let me know if you can't see it.
Thank you, Rachel. So this offer was the inspiration that I had from the Owen video of how do I get my massage clients also involved here. So the current version of it, which is actually doing better than the first one, is a 30-minute self-massage class on your shoulders, neck and shoulders, or your hips and low back. It seems better that most people either have one area or the other. So we're not trying to deal with the whole body. We're dealing just with specific areas. And everybody comes on, it's like, what are your main issues? And every class is slightly different because it really focuses on, again, what are the needs of the people that are there. So I'd like to offer you to come join me for a free session using that code vcita1 as your coupon code. And then you get to play with coupon codes and have fun with those. Another great tool that vcita has. Yeah.
Awesome. Sharon, thank you so much. I'm just going to drop, I know you guys can't, click on the presentation. The link isn't live there. So I'm just going to drop it in the chat area right now. So take a look at the chat and you should be able to see that offer there. We're going to bring Michelle back on the line. Michelle, can you hear us?
I can. Hello. Oh.
Great. So let's talk about your bonus offer for our audience today.
Yes. So as a mom, I know it's already a stressful time with the pandemic, but even so, if there's something wrong with your family members or your child, this course is just a quick and easy course to help you when your family is not feeling well. So all these natural remedies to help get them better faster. With natural means instead of anything that may be chemically or harsh to their system. But just put this together to help you help your family so that just helps bring the stress level down and you don't have to go off to the doctor, the urgent care, or the clinic. But I think when you have your own tools, then it just makes you more empowered and less crazy stressed. So I wanted to offer that.
That's great. Thank you so much. This is actually a really cool offer, especially now with, as you mentioned, people are a little bit nervous about, visiting the doctor's clinic, or you're not really sure who you might meet there and what they might have. So, being able to throw together some quick natural remedies for non-emergencies at your own home is a great skill to have at this time. I know you guys can't click on the presentation, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop you a link in the chat area in just 1 second. You'll have it in 3, 2, 1. Boom. There you go. $10 only, and make sure to use that link. So again, last but not least, we have Nina's offer. Nina, can you hear us?
I can. Give me a second. I cannot turn my video on.
Let's see if I can.
There you go. It was you. It was all you. No.
Oh no! I feel like I get a failing grade for managing Zoom technology.
I've done whole entire videos and forgot to turn on my microphone or tech messes up. We all go through it. So I talked about my workshops that I do, and one of the things that both my current clients and my new clients really wanted me to do was a content creators camp. As I mentioned before, I help not so techie entrepreneurs learn how to create content that creates cash. And so this weekend we're doing a workshop. It's a 3-day workshop. You actually come, you'll register with vcita, but after you register, you get your reminders. It's all on Zoom. Everything is hands-on. You get a workbook. You actually have homework to do. But my bonus offer is that if you do sign up for that, I did a weekend crash course last weekend, which the first part of the course was everything on how to switch your business to a digital business. So if you're, like I said, my hairstylists and chefs and, people who have to have hands-on services, the first part of the class was how to do it, the strategy, what to offer, how to charge for it. The second part is we went through an in-depth detailed work session of how to set that up in vcita and how to match your real life services in vcita. So whoever signs up for my content creators camp this weekend will actually get that as a bonus. It's a 1-day workshop that you can watch the replay. You'll get all of the strategy sessions. And so I hope to see you there.
Great. So Nina, I just posted your link in the chat area too. Guys, I'm seeing some people are writing that they are not seeing it. Can you please confirm that you're seeing these links in the chat area?
I see it. I can say mine out loud. It's just contentcreatorscamp.com. I know I gave you a link too, but if you go to Content Creators Camp, That's where it is. And then when you sign up, I'll know it's you. Everything, my system tags everything, and then I'll give you the free bonus.
Okay, I see some people are writing that they're still not seeing it. Let's just try doing this one more time. Guys, can you see Nina's link in the chat area now? All right, looks like we are in business. So I'm just going to go ahead and post everyone else's links, just again, in case you guys missed it. So we have Nina's link, Sharon's link, and in a second, I'm going to post Michelle's link as well. Sorry about that, guys, but here you go. We have Michelle's link as well. And you know what? I know that it's just been like a bit of a mess. So let's, I'm going to I'll make sure all you guys get these links via email as well, just in case you missed it in the chat area. So we are a bit over time. Unfortunately, I think we'll have to end this session here. I see there still are some questions to vcita and to the guest speakers that we haven't had a chance to respond to yet. We will make sure we follow up with you guys offline via email after the session ends. Once again, I would just like to thank you all very much for joining today. I know a lot of you are already vcita users, so you already have these tools, you already have access to all of the features that we discussed today. If any of you here online with us today haven't started with vcita yet, if you're new to vcita, the good news is that first of all, you have a 14-day free trial so you can log into vcita, set up your account, see how it works for your business, check out the different features, check out the different modules. Once again, we are here for you. So if you have any questions, please just reach out and we'll help you kind of understand how vcita can support your business, during these times and afterwards as well. We also have a great team of product specialists who do great demos. So if you wanted to hop on a call with someone and get a personalized demo, where you can also ask questions and get more information about vcita. If you're not great with technology and you're nervous about maybe it being too complex or too kind of techie for you, this is a great option because these, the product specialists can kind of walk you through the onboarding experience, point you in the right direction, show you the features that'll be best for your business and your use case. So all the links from the speakers today, as well as the link for scheduling a demo with a vcita product specialist team member, will be in the email you receive either later today or early tomorrow morning, together with the replay. So that's it for today, folks. Once again, I just wanted to say thank you to all our guest speakers and to all our attendees. This has been a truly great session. You can expect more. I do have a quick request for you guys. How you thought today's webinar was. Your feedback really goes a long way. It helps us customize our future webinars. It'll help us put together content that is, interesting to you. So please just take a minute to complete these 2 questions that I'm going to launch via poll questions. So you have the first one now. How was today's webinar? Did you think that it was great? Did you find it informative, inspiring? Did you think it was good and maybe you learned a few new things? Or did you think it was okay, but you really did expect more? Or, possibly you didn't find it helpful at all. So please take a minute to just give us your feedback. And another question I'd like to ask you guys is about future content. What other type of content you'd be interested in hearing? So which topics would you find most interesting? You can select a couple of these. It's multiple choice, so don't feel obligated to just stick to one. Would you like to learn more about running your business online? Are you more interested in just like all things marketing? Would you prefer maybe learning more about money and finance or more about customer service? Or maybe you just want to learn more about vcita. So feel free to mark, whatever you think would be most beneficial for you. These are super important because we invest a lot in this content and we want it to be good for you. We want it to match your needs. We want it to be beneficial. So any input any thoughts you may have on what type of content you think would be educational and beneficial for you is great. You can answer the poll question that's live now, or you can just, drop some comments in the chat area. If there's a specific topic you think we should cover, that's great too. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. And again, we will definitely follow up with those questions via email, as well as send the recording and all the links. So thank you so much. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay positive. If there's one thing I think we should all take away from today is to just continue, doing what you do best, be creative, try and think of creative ways for you to monetize your skill set and your knowledge. And hopefully we should all just, hear good news and stay in good health, both, personally and business health as well. So thanks again. Take care, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.